A while back, I noticed a trend on social media where there were, let's just say, a specific demographic of women were coming out talking about how they are not willing to go 50-50 on the bills with their significant other. Now, when this trend first kind of started to emerge, I didn't pay it much attention for the simple fact that I knew that this was absolute nonsense. Not because, again, they're not actually thinking that way, but the people who have that sort of thought process are almost always the very same people who actually ain't got a man to begin with, right? So basically, the conversation went like this. Are you willing to date a man if, or be in a relationship, married, whatever it is, if you have to pay 50% of the bills? Now, for normal human beings, for most of us on this planet who are in a serious committed relationship, that's an obvious, of course, As a matter of fact, whatever is necessary. Sometimes it might be 60-40, sometimes it might be 80. It just depends where you are. But because you're building with this individual and you have a serious committed relationship, you understand that relationships are never, it's never just perfectly equal. You get what I'm saying? I actually believe you give 100% of what you can give at that very moment in time. And that may be this much financially, but that much time and attention, this much financially, but that much as far as helping around the house and doing other things and taking care of business and, building something outside auxiliary that can then become some source of income. You're always working together as a team. So with this conversation, I started to notice more and more as I paid it a little more attention. And now on the other side, where you now have women saying, wait, hold up, we changed our minds. I can actually go 50-50, is that most of the individuals, again, having this conversation do not actually know what it is to have a healthy relationship. This is the facts, right? This is a demographic, a specific group of women who simply do not know what it is to have a healthy relationship. Instead, they go off of hearsay. They hear whatever it is that is being marketed or sold to them, right? So you got to have a man who's 6 foot, 6 figures. You got six pack. They give them all of this. They give them this illusion of a man that they're supposed to be looking for, who more than likely does not exist. And even if he does, they would be the complete last person that he would even be checking for, right? Simple as that. And I was even having this conversation with my girl as far as how it's incredible how this new wave of feminism has deluded women into a space where basically they have a resentment and an anger towards men. They want to be men. Instead of embracing femininity, they have pushed women into believing, it's not just enough to be equal to a man, whatever that means, but you need to be better than that man. And so you end up in a relationship, you're in competition already, or you end up in a relationship and, there's going to be some level of animosity. And so it's a power struggle, which is a very unhealthy thing. But something else that comes from that mentality is oftentimes, like, women have as my girls say, perceptive powers, right? Or we can develop as humans perceptive powers, but women have a level of sensitivity that can be mastered and oftentimes is not, simply because, and this was like a download I got today, right? It all clicked for me. Why is it that a lot of these women can't even pick the right partner, right? Let alone get to a spouse or whatever it is. They can't even get the right man to be in their life and somebody who would actually take them seriously. And I realized that, because this feminist mindset is pushing them into, just lay up with them, just give that box out, hookup culture, etc. So you can't actually discern whether or not somebody is good for you if you're continually giving out the cookie. Simple. Like, think about that. You have now attached yourself to this person emotionally. So now you're making irrational decisions as opposed to allowing yourself to go through the process of courtship. And it is on both sides where it comes to as far as how we've lost the art of courting and actually developing a relationship, right? But women hold the key when it comes to that. If you're not giving it away, and there's going to be requirements as far as, in order to get this, you have to get this, you have to get this. And we have to build a relationship. And I have to see if you actually are that person I'm willing to open up to in that way. And if we did it as we used to for probably eons as human beings, right? Where there was actual value placed upon these things. People get offended when the body count conversation comes up, etc. But these things are relevant, not just for the simple sake of just shaming you individually, but it's to say, look, If you are somebody who doesn't have a level of discernment to begin with, to say that this is somebody who I'm actually, who can actually take me serious, this is somebody who's a serious individual, and you don't even, or you even know how to look for what to vet for, right? Like, that's the foundation. Do you even know what the characteristics and the qualities of a solid man are? And that comes from upbringing and what you've seen, and obviously the relationship dynamics that were playing out in front of you in the earliest stages of your life. But then as a grown individual, you have to get to a point where you can actually perceive what is a healthy relationship. And once you get to that place, you'll realize that, a relationship is also when you come together in unison. It's not when you just, go out there shopping for somebody who's going to make you look good. They look good on your arm. You can show them off on Instagram, or, you can brag to your friends. You know what I mean? You can glow up on your friends or on your haters, or, somebody that you have for the sake of getting something, extracting resources from them. These are unhealthy dynamics of relationships. And that's really what I saw in this overall, quote unquote, 50-50 conversation. I knew immediately, like, this trend is not one that is coming from people in healthy relationships. This is not a healthy mentality to even have, because people in like real grounded, stable relationships aren't even really thinking like that. It's just like, how do we help each other best where we are? And in most households, there's going to be two people working. In some, if they're able to build their way to this place, or maybe somebody has the finances in place, and so they can have that 100, zero, maybe when it comes to the bills, but then there's going to be 100 of something in order for there to be that level of natural reciprocation. That's what love does. Like, genuine love and admiration for this person and commitment will allow for an individual to give. But again, so many people are so narcissistic in their tendencies. They're so selfish. They're thinking about me, me, me. What do I get? What do I get? What do I get? You go into these dating spaces, and the first thing they're talking about is like, well, they need to be this, and they need to be that, and they need to have this going on, and they need to have that going on. And you never once ask yourself, I'm so tired of these damn people pandering, especially to women, because it hurts y'all. Like, you get deluded, and you get into a place of, you're living in a delusion. Like, you're actually begin to live in a delusion where you have these figments in your head of what a relationship is supposed to be. Even growing up on Cinderella and stuff like that, at least there was masculine, feminine, and there are these qualities. But as far as somebody is supposed to come and save you and do everything for you, and you basically just sit there getting fanned all day like a damn Cleopatra or something, that is a delusion. It's a fantasy. It's non-existent. And nobody would even really want a life like that, to be real. To actually be real. Like, if somebody just came and they just did everything for you and you didn't lift a finger, you would eventually feel useless unless you are a genuine psychopath, or you're a genuine narcissist. You got those dark triad traits where you like to use and manipulate people. You would eventually start to feel useless. You would want to do something. Again, like, a lot of folks don't know what it is to actually be in a healthy, committed relationship. You know what it is to be a jump off. You know what it is to be a side piece, or you know what it is to, be the one who gets called at a certain hour of the night, or, or you're part of a rotation or whatever it may be. And I don't want that for anybody. Like, I talk to, ladies out there, I talk to you like you're my sister, my cousin, whoever, and be like, look, I don't want that for you, but I'm going to tell you the truth. As far as if you continue to move in such a way, then that's what you're going to get. These men that they create an image of, let's say the ball player, the rapper, whatever it is, that dude is already in that type of mentality 9.999999998% of the time. That dude is just going to have one of you and another one of you and another one of you and another. You might be a Tuesday. You might be a morning Tuesday or afternoon Tuesday. Maybe you might be a damn nighttime Friday or something like that, right? But that's all you'll ever be. And you will come to realize, I've heard a lot of these ball players talking about how after they get out the league and the depression hits and they don't know, they have this identity crisis. They don't know who they are, what to do with themselves. And a lot of them end up getting divorced because both them and their partner realizes, like, damn, we actually have to be together now. I'm not just on the road doing whatever I'm doing, and you're at the house and I'm just sending you money, you buying Birkins, you doing this, you doing that, you doing whatever you're doing, which, again, these are dysfunctional sort of relationships to begin with. And yet you think you're going to get all this love from that. That's a fantasy. These are illusions that you've been sold. That doesn't exist. The most beautiful kind of love is the one when you're with somebody who has the same level of respect, reverence, and love for you that you do for them, and that you're willing to stick it through, to build together, to do whatever is necessary. If it's 20, 80, 80, 20, 50, 50, 40, 60, whatever it is, you're going to take care of one another. And that's what I appreciate about the other side of the conversation that started to unfold is, there's women coming out saying, look, I'm okay with 50-50. And matter of fact, I'm not just okay with 50-50. Shoot, I prefer 50. You know what? I could do 40-60. I could do 80-20, whatever he needs at that time, because that's my man. Like, these are the type of conversations they're having. And that's a beautiful thing. That's a place of maturation and to understand what a relationship is. It's a reciprocal. It wouldn't be a relationship. It wouldn't even be just transactional, because even transactional is like you're still give and take, right? And you never want to find yourself there in a relationship like, oh, tit for tat. Absolutely not. You're not mature enough for like a grounded relationship if you're a tit for tat type individual. But if you find yourself in a place where you are just extracting, you're a taker. Like, you know what I mean? You have tendencies of a narcissist. And if you're in that place as well, like you need to make sure to work out those kinks. So shout out to everybody who is genuinely in these relationships and making for healthy households.
I used to be afraid of the dark, a place unknown like a heart in their heart. I used to see my life in the bar. Now the kids unchained, every shackle is lost. 2 steps in the moonlight, 2-step in the daytime. You just know when it feel right. You got a feeling the time's not. See you through those shades that I just threw on. Through my lenses, you just can't do no wrong. I fell in love with myself again. I fell in love with myself. I fell in love with the sunshine. I fell in love with the light. I fell in love with the full moon. I fell in love with the night. I can see the light again. I can see the light. You can see the life in him illuminate the night. I know the time is taking. A 3-6-5, that's a full rotation. I see you looking up. You know them constellations. Constantly gazing like house of praises. You get to praise.